I just got the Evolve Pintail electric skateboard in the mail. I ordered this thing on the weekend. It was shipped from Malaysia, and today's Wednesday, and I already got it here in Hawaii. So, super fast shipping. Box arrived intact, and looks like it was just shipped from anywhere else. Thing was wrapped up really nicely in the bubble wrap. I took that off, and then I unboxed pieces here, and then this is what I got. Have the charger. It has the international plug, but you just buy one of these and just plugs right in. I think you can get this at Radio Shack or somewhere. I travel quite a bit, so I already had one. And the controller comes with the manual. Even got some extra bushings. These are the softer bushings. Because of the double truck system, I think these are a little bit firmer bushings on the base, and then a little bit looser bushings here. So I'm going to try it first and see which setup I like the best. But a couple things that I noticed. One, the ply on the board is 6 ply, but it seems really stiff, because I was worried about that, whether it could hold my weight, at 210, 212 pounds right now. On the carve board, the one with the big fat wheels I had before, it was I forget what it was, a 7 ply or something like that, and it was really flexy. I wanted it stiffer, but this one looks pretty good. This one I don't think I'm gonna have an issue with. Loving these double truck system. Another thing, I was really pleased in the weight. I picked up the box with the board in it, and it was lighter than I thought it was going to be. So when I picked up the board without all the stuff on it and without the box, it feels lighter to me than 20 pounds, which is definitely doable and no problem. This board in real life looks way better than it does in the pictures and on the internet. Okay, I'm going to look at it from the side. One question that I had before was, how much clearance is there actually underneath the battery box? So look at my hand and the ground. Looks like there's enough, unless you're going over a curb and hit something. But this board is fairly easy to use. Push the button right here, light turns blue. Push the button right here. Now it's connected. Pull this thing back. Starts going. Push it forward for brake. Push this button right here to make it fast mode. That light starts blinking more. And a brake. Push this button right here for reverse. Now all three lights blink. Reverse. Push it again. Now we're in fast mode. Hold the button down, turns off, push that button, it's off. Pretty simple. Also, watch this. How does it roll on its own? No problem. Listen, watch this. You can't even hear the motor. This thing is super quiet. Lower it down for you? Okay. Yeah? You're gonna lower the thing down.
What'd you think? You like that? I ended up changing out the bushings for 2 sets of soft bushings, and the turning radius became much better, much easier to turn. Only problem is this: wheel bite. This wheel now bit right into this area and I flew off. Alright, after riding this thing over a few days for maybe about 2 hours total, this is what I'm noticing. One, I really like the way that the wheels spin. If you can tell, just even straight out of the box, they spin really nicely. Just seem to keep going and going and going. Also, down here, even after riding it for probably about 40 minutes or so, this is not really that hot to the touch, although the motor is pretty hot to the touch. This is slightly hot, but this is pretty hot. When you're riding this board, because I'm not a experienced longboard skateboarder, this is what I am noticing. If I wanted to turn more like a skateboard, step back here, more toward the rear wheel, and try and push off more off my rear foot like I would when I'm surfing. But I find that the natural position on this board seems to be toward the front, like this foot up here closer to the front part of the wheel, and this one in front of the wheels and in front of where the mounting bolts are. This gives a much more snowboardy-ish kind of feel because the tail seems to be turning, whereas in surfing the nose tends to turn. One cool thing about this is that you can walk all over it. So you can come to the back and try and turn off the back, and then come up here to the front and do a little cheater 5 and ride around like that. When I'm using the remote, what I notice, especially when I'm going on flat ground or just as I'm coming up over a hill, is that there's like a slingshot type effect where the board, almost like the feeling I get when I do like tow-in for surfing. Now I don't drop in on big waves, but we used to have a jet ski and tow-in behind it on medium-sized waves. And that feeling of you get towed, and then you get whipped around, and once you let go, it's kind of, you get that slingshot effect, and then you get into the wave, and then the wave starts to push you. That's kind of what I feel like when I'm riding this, either on flat ground or on slight inclines and then going to the decline. You hold the trigger down, you're going at this somewhat consistent pace, and then you let it go, and then it goes, the free spinning of the wheels take over, and it's a much more natural kind of a feeling. But overall, after a few hours, couple hours or so of riding this thing, I'm really liking it. I'm noticing though that on inclines like this right here, I don't know if you can see it, it's probably about a 15% incline or so, something like that. That incline for this skateboard is okay, and at my weight, which is about 210, 212 pounds right now, but anything really much more than 15% is this board at my weight will have a harder time. I'm sure a lighter person it might be okay, but not for me. The low end torque, if it could be increased on this board as opposed to the high end speed, would be more important for me because I live in an area with quite a bit of hills. But overall, I'm really satisfied with this board. In the description, it says 6-ply on the deck, and I thought, oh, 6-ply may be kind of thin because on my carve board, which had the big pneumatic tires, it was, I don't know what it was. It was like a 7-ply. It was 1 or 2 plies under the maximum one, which I thought was 8 or 9, and it was not stiff enough. It was too flexy. And this one I kind of like a bit stiffer. That's just my preference, and some people may like real flexy, but to me this board so far is working out really, really good. It's lighter than I thought it would be. It's definitely much more slick. People can't really tell that it's electric until they see me going uphill. and these ABAC wheels are really nice and smooth. So all in all, I think this is a winner. I think it's worth the money. If I had to do it again, I would buy it again.